There is a thought you cannot escape. It is not a loud thought. It is not a constant shout. It is a quiet, persistent whisper that sits at the edge of your mind. You wake up with it in the morning. You carry it through the busy hours of your day. And when the night falls and the world goes silent, it is still there. You have tried to push it away. You have tried to tell yourself it is just your imagination. You have tried to run from it, to distract yourself with work, with noise, with other people. But no matter where you go, the thought remains. It is the thought of a specific person, a connection that you feel in the deepest part of your spirit, a name that is written on your heart, chosen one. Why can you not forget them? Why does God keep bringing them back to your spirit? Even when you're apart, you look at the separation, you look at the distance between you, and you feel completely disoriented. The world tells you to move on. Your mind tells you to let go. And yet, your spirit refuses to comply. It feels like you are caught in a tug of war between what you see with your eyes and what you feel in your soul. You ask yourself, is this just my own obsession? Am I just holding on to a beautiful dream? Or is this a divine nudge? You walk through your days feeling like a stranger in your own life. The things that used to satisfy you no longer do. The familiar paths have grown narrow, and you are left wondering if you are losing your grip on reality. Chosen one, you are not losing your mind. You are not failing, and you are not self-deluded. I want to tell you something today that will bring peace to your restless heart. You are not crazy. The weight you are carrying on your heart is not a mistake. It is not a symptom of a weak mind. It is a divine deposit. You have been trying to figure this out on your own. You have been analyzing every conversation, every memory, every silent sign. And the weight of trying to figure it out has become too heavy to bear. Chosen one, you have been carrying this in secret. You have been hiding your hope because you are afraid of what others might say. You are afraid they will tell you that you are foolish. But God sees the secret chambers of your heart. He knows the silent prayers you offer when no one is listening. He knows the tears you shed when you ask Him why. He won't let you let go. And He wants you to know today that you are being pulled into a deeper place. You are not drifting away from Him. You are being drawn closer. To understand why this is happening, we must look at how God transforms His chosen ones. He does not work on our timeline. He does not use our methods. When God prepares you for a divine connection, He first places you in a cocoon. It is a biological necessity. Think of the caterpillar. It lives a simple life, crawling on the ground, eating leaves. But there comes a day when it is compelled by a force it does not understand to climb a branch and wrap itself in a dark, tight shell. From the outside, it looks like the end. It looks like death. And inside that cocoon, the caterpillar does not just grow wings. It does not just change its shape. It dissolves. Its entire structure breaks down into a liquid, formless state. It must lose who it was completely before it can become what it was meant to be. Chosen one, you are in the dissolving phase. This process of dissolving has a name. In the original language of the scriptures, it is called metamorpho. It is the word we translate as transformation, but it is not a cosmetic change. It is a restructuring of your spiritual DNA. God is reaching into the deepest parts of your soul and remaking you from the inside out. He is not just tweaking your habits. He is not just modifying your circumstances. He is dissolving your dependencies. He is melting away your self-reliance. He is dismantling the old way you used to love and the old way you used to seek validation. And because it is a dissolving, it feels like you are falling apart. Chosen one, from the inside of the cocoon, it does not feel like becoming. It feels like breaking. You feel the walls of your world closing in. You feel the silence of the season. But this pressure is not punishment. It is precision. It is the environment that God has chosen to prepare you for what is coming. There is a prophetic promise written in the book of the prophet Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. It is a promise for the vision that God has placed on your heart. The scripture says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." Chosen one, the connection you feel, the promise you carry, is a vision. And like all divine visions, it has an appointed time. It cannot be rushed. It cannot be engineered by human hands. You cannot force the cocoon to open before its time. If you try to pull the butterfly out early, its wings will be weak and it will never be able to fly. The wait you are experiencing is not a delay of God's love. It is the protection of God's love. The vision is moving toward its end. It will speak, it will not lie, but it must go through the appointed time. The scripture continues with these words, "Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." Chosen one, this sounds like a contradiction. How can something tarry and yet not tarry? It means that, to your human eyes, it will look like a delay. It will feel like years of silence. It will feel like nothing is happening. But in the realm of the Spirit, it is moving on schedule. It is not late by a single second. God is aligning every detail behind the scenes. While you are waiting, He is working on the other side. He is working on the person who is on your heart. He is dissolving their dependencies too. He is remaking their vessel, so that when the appointed time arrives, both of you will be ready. If God brought you together right now, with your old structures intact, the weight of the connection would break you. So, though it seems to tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. This in-between place is holy ground. It is the sacred space where you learn to trust the invisible hand. The cocoon is not a prison. It is a sanctuary. It is the place where God hides His treasures while He refines them. You have been looking at the silence as a sign of God's absence, but the silence is actually the sign of His intense focus. A sculptor does not speak when he is making the most delicate cuts. He goes quiet. He leans in close. His hands are steady, and his focus is absolute. Chosen one, God is quiet right now because He is leaning in close to your heart. He is carving away the fears. He is polishing the rough edges of your soul. He is making you into a vessel that can carry the glory of what He has promised. Do not mistake His silence for distance. He has never been closer to you than He is in the quiet of this cocoon. You must realize that you are not a problem to be solved. You look at your doubts, your struggles, your persistent thoughts, and you see a problem. You ask God to fix you. You ask Him to take the weight away. But God does not look at you and see a problem. He looks at you and sees a masterpiece in progress. Chosen one, you are a divine work of art. And a work of art requires time. It requires patience. It requires the hand of the master to touch it over and over again until the image is perfect. The pain you feel is the pressure of the master's chisel. It is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to reveal the beauty that is hidden beneath the surface. You are being prepared for a love and a destiny that will reflect His light to the world. Trust the hand that holds the chisel. Chosen one, if you feel the truth of this in your spirit today, if something in you recognizes that what you are experiencing is the hand of God at work, I want you to take one step of agreement. Type in the comments, "I am changing." Let those words be your declaration of surrender. Let the spiritual realm know that you have recognized the work of the sculptor. Type, "I am changing" right now, and let the transformation continue. Let us name the disruption. It comes when you are sitting at your desk, trying to focus on the numbers, or the emails, or the meetings. Suddenly, without warning, their face flashes before your eyes. Or it comes when you are driving down the highway and a song plays on the radio and a wave of memory washes over you, leaving you breathless for a moment. It comes when you are trying to read a book or watch a movie or have a conversation with a friend, and you realize that you are only half present. The other half of your mind is in a quiet conversation with someone who isn't there. You have tried to tell yourself to grow up. You have tried to use logic. You say, "They are not here. The door is closed. I must look forward." But the heart has a language that logic does not speak, and the memory remains persistent, unstoppable, like a recurring tide that refuses to stay out. Chosen one, this constant interruption, this silent wait is what you have been fighting. You ask yourself if this is just a psychological loop. You think, maybe I am just obsessed. Maybe I am just lonely. But you must understand the difference between a human obsession and a divine deposit. Human obsession is built on fear. It is built on the need to possess, the need to control, the need to make something happen. It makes you anxious. It makes you run. It makes you try to force doors open. But a divine deposit is different. It is heavy, but it is quiet. It does not demand that you run. It does not ask you to manipulate the circumstances. It simply sits in your spirit as a reminder of a promise. It is a connection that was placed there by the hand of God. And if God placed it there, no amount of human willpower can erase it. You can try to scrub it from your mind, but it is written in the permanent ink of the Spirit. Chosen one, you cannot forget them, because God is keeping the memory warm. There was a man who spent his life studying the architecture of the human soul. He was a man who knew what it felt like to have his plans interrupted by the sovereign will of God. His name was C.S. Lewis. He was a scholar, an Oxford professor, a man who loved order and intellect. But when God came into his life, he did not respect Lewis's order. He broke through the walls. He disrupted the quiet library of his mind. And Lewis had to learn how to live in a world that was constantly being interrupted by the divine. He had to learn that the things we call disruptions are often the very places where God is working. He wrote about this in his letters. Reflecting on the constant friction of daily life, he knew what it was like to want a quiet, predictable journey, only to find himself constantly pulled into the unexpected. And he realized that the struggle was not a distraction from his real life. It was his real life. In his letters to his lifelong friend, Arthur Greaves, Lewis wrote about the frustration of daily interruptions. He was trying to write, he was trying to study, he was trying to live his real life. But people kept knocking on the door. Duties kept calling him away. The unpleasant, mundane tasks of life kept breaking his focus. And in his frustration, he stopped and he saw the hand of the master. He realized that his attitude was wrong. He saw that he was treating these disruptions as obstacles instead of opportunities for spiritual growth. And he wrote a paragraph that has comforted millions of weary souls. He captured the truth of what it means to yield our timelines to God. Listen to his words. Let them sink deep into your spirit today. Lewis wrote, "The great thing, if one can, is to stop regarding all the unpleasant things as interruptions of one's own or real life. The truth is, of course, that what one calls the interruptions are precisely one's real life." Chosen one. Read those words with the eyes of your spirit. What you call the interruptions are precisely your real life. The persistent thought of this person, the waiting, the separation, the quiet ache in your chest. You have been treating these things as interruptions. You have been saying, "My real life will begin when we are together. My real life will begin when the wait is over." But the truth is, this waiting, this aching, is your real life right now. This is the ground where God is training you. This is the classroom where you learn to trust. The memory of them is not a distraction from your spiritual path. It is your spiritual path. God is using the persistent weight of this connection to keep your heart open. He is using it to prevent you from settling. If the thought of them faded, you would move on to something easier. You would settle for a connection that is comfortable, but not divine. You would build a life on the flat ground instead of climbing the mountain. The memory is the anchor that keeps you from drifting back into the mundane. It is the hook in your jaw that keeps you facing the direction of your destiny. It is a holy disruption, and God has allowed it to shape you. Think of the wet clay spinning on the potter's wheel. It is a beautiful, ancient image. The prophet Jeremiah wrote about it. He went down to the potter's house and watched the vessel being made. Picture the clay. It is wet. It is formless. It is spinning rapidly on the wheel, and the potter places his hands upon it. He does not just hold it gently. He applies pressure. His fingers press into the wet clay. He squeezes. He pulls it upward. And from the perspective of the clay, if it had a voice, it would cry out. It would say, "Why are you pressing so hard? Why are you changing my shape? It feels like I am being destroyed." But the potter is not destroying the clay. He is centering it. He is pressing from the inside and the outside simultaneously. He is applying the exact amount of pressure needed to make the vessel strong. Without the pressure, the clay would fly off the wheel. Without the pressure, it would remain a useless lump of mud. The pressure is the proof of the potter's intent. Chosen one, you have been feeling the pressure. You have felt the pressure of the silence. You have felt the pressure of the memories. You have felt the pressure of the financial trials, the relational shifts, the quiet loneliness of your nights. And you have cried out, "Lord, why is it so hard? Why won't you release me?" But I tell you today, the pressure is not punishment. It is precision. Every finger of pressure that you feel is the hand of the sculptor. He is pressing on your heart to expand its capacity. He is pressing on your mind to break your old patterns of thinking. He is centering you. He is aligning your spirit with His. The pressure is the evidence that you are still on the wheel. He has not abandoned the work. He has not thrown the clay away. He is holding you close, and He is shaping you for a heavy glory. Do not resist the wheel. The biggest mistake a chosen one can make is to fight the pressure. When the clay goes stiff, when it resists the potter's hand, it ruins the vessel. It cracks. It has to be broken down and started over. Surrender to the spinning. Surrender to the pressure. Say to the Lord, "My life is in your hands. Mold me. Shape me." Stop trying to force the timeline. Stop trying to escape the classroom. The memory of this person will stay on your heart as long as the potter needs it there to keep you yielding. Yield today. Let the wheel spin and let the master create his masterpiece. Why does love feel like a risk? If this connection is divinely designed, why does it feel like a danger to your peace? You have loved before, but this is different. This love has reached into the depths of your being and exposed things you did not know were there. It has exposed your fear of rejection. It has exposed your need for control. It has exposed the fragile places in your heart that you have spent years protecting. And because it is so deep, the possibility of pain is just as deep. You look at the separation and your heart feels wrung. You feel the ache of their absence. And the temptation comes to close the door, to say, "I will never care this much again. I will never let anyone get this close. It is too painful. It is too dangerous. You want to build a wall around your heart. You want to retreat into safety. Chosen one. This is the test of the heart. There was a book written about this very struggle. A book that explored the different ways we love and the traps we fall into when we try to keep ourselves safe. It was written by C.S. Lewis in his profound work, The Four Loves. Lewis was a man who had known deep loss. He had lived most of his life as a bachelor, safe in his intellectual Oxford circles, isolated from the messy, painful world of romantic love. But in his later years, God brought a woman into his life, Joy Davidman, and Lewis fell deeply in love. He opened his heart completely, only to watch her battle cancer and die a few years later. Lewis knew the agony of a broken heart. He knew the price of love, and in The Four Loves, he wrote a passage about the danger of trying to protect yourself from the pain of loving. He warned against the temptation to lock your heart away in a dark place where nothing can touch it. He saw that many people, weary of being hurt, make a quiet decision to never love deeply again. They wrap their hearts in hobbies. They invest their energy in work, in comfort, in little luxuries. They avoid all emotional entanglements. They think they are being wise. They think they are keeping themselves safe. But Lewis showed that this safety is a deception. He showed that the heart kept safe in a box does not stay healthy. It does not remain intact. It changes into something monstrous. Listen to the warning he wrote. Let it speak to the wall you've been trying to build. Lewis wrote, to love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give it to no one, not even an animal. Wrap it carefully round with hobbies and little luxuries. Avoid all entanglements. Lock it up safe in the casket or coffin of your selfishness. But in that casket, safe, dark, motionless, airless, it will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, irredeemable. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Chosen one. Let those words ring in your spirit. Unbreakable, impenetrably, irredeemable. That is the fate of the heart that refuses to be wrung. You have been asking God why He allowed your heart to be wrung in this season. You have been asking why He allowed the pain of separation, the vulnerability of this connection. He allowed it to save you from the casket. He allowed it to break the shell of your self-protection. God does not want you to have an unbreakable heart. He wants you to have a soft heart, a heart that is flesh, not stone. He allowed the pain to expand your capacity to love. You cannot carry a divine destiny with a small, protected heart. The vessel must be stretched. The heart must be wrung so that it can hold the weight of the love God is preparing for you. The separation is not a punishment for your love. It is the refining of it. It is clearing away the selfishness, the expectations, the demands, until only the pure gold of love remains. Think of the pruning knife. Jesus spoke of it in the Gospel of John, chapter 15. He said, "Every branch in me that bears fruit, He prunes, that it may bear more fruit." Pruning does not look like love from the perspective of the branch. It looks like subtraction. It looks like loss. The sharp blade cuts into the living wood. A piece of the branch is severed and falls to the ground. If the branch could feel, it would cry out in pain. It would ask why the gardener is destroying its hard work. But the gardener is not destroying the branch. He is cutting away the dead weight. He is cutting away the parts that are drawing energy, but producing nothing. He is directing the life force of the vine into the places that will bear the richest fruit. Chosen one, the subtraction you are experiencing is the pruning knife. God is cutting away the dependencies. He is cutting away the old ways you used to find comfort. You have been relying on the presence of this person to feel whole. You have been relying on their validation to feel worthy. But God will not allow His chosen ones to build their foundations on another human being. He is cutting away the support beams so that you are forced to stand on Him alone. It feels like loss. It feels like you are being stripped bare. But it is not destruction. It is preparation. God is not taking from you to leave you empty. He is clearing the ground so that He can build a structure that can handle the weight of your destiny. If the old branches remained, the new fruit would have no room to grow. The subtraction is the prerequisite for the multiplication. The next chapter of your life requires a version of you that is fully anchored in God. Not a version of you that is searching for identity. Not a version of you that is desperate for love. A version of you that already knows whose you are. A version of you that is complete, whole, and secure in the secret place of the Most High. Chosen one. This is why the wait is necessary. God is building your foundation. He is establishing your identity before He releases you into the connection. If you enter the union while you are still searching for your worth, you will turn the other person into an idol. You will demand that they do for you what only God can do, and the connection will collapse under the weight of your expectations. So, let the foundation be laid. Let the identity be secured. What looks like loss in this season is actually strategic placement. God has not lost track of what was cut away. He has not forgotten the person He placed on your heart. He has simply repositioned them. He has moved them ahead of you into the future, and He is working on them there. While you are being pruned, they are being pruned. While you are being centered, they are being centered. You are not moving apart. You are moving toward the version of yourselves that can actually stand together without breaking. The distance between you is the distance needed for the roots to grow deep. Trust the gardener. He knows exactly what he is doing. Chosen one. If you are ready to let the gardener do his work, if you are ready to yield to the pruning, I want you to make a declaration of agreement. Do not resist the knife. Type in the comments, "Reshape me." Let these words be your submission to the process. Let them be your statement of faith that the cut is for your growth, not your destruction. Type "Reshape me" right now, and let the peace of the garden settle over your soul. We are moving deeper, and next we will reveal the silent signs that prove the work is happening. What do you do when heaven goes quiet? When the signs seem to stop and the dreams no longer come, and the voice you used to hear so clearly is silent? You pray, and your prayers feel like they are bouncing off a brass ceiling. You look for a sign, and you see nothing but ordinary days, repeating themselves without change. And the enemy whispers, "God has forgotten you. The connection was a lie. You are just wasting your time. Go back to what you know." It is easy to believe the whisper when the silence is long. It is easy to think that silence means absence. You feel a quiet panic rising in your chest. You want to make something happen. You want to reach out, to explain yourself, to force a resolution. Chosen one, this silence is the most critical part of the cocoon. The silence is not God's abandonment. It is His containment. He has placed you in a space where the external noise cannot reach you. In the physical world, sound is a vibration that travels through the air. But in the spiritual world, silence is the medium through which the deeper structures are formed. When the caterpillar is dissolving, there is no noise inside the shell. There is no activity visible to the eye. It is a silent, motionless environment, and that quiet is necessary. If there was movement, if there was noise, The delicate work of rebuilding the nervous system would fail. The silence you are experiencing is the boundary God has set to protect your transformation. He has hushed the world around you so that you can hear the beating of His heart and the quiet growth of your own spirit. There was a prophet who lived in the ruins of a destroyed city, a man who had watched everything he loved break down. His name was Jeremiah. He wrote a book of sorrow called Lamentations. He sat in the ashes of Jerusalem, surrounded by silence, by grief, by unanswered questions. He had prayed for deliverance and seen nothing but destruction. But in the middle of his mourning, Jeremiah did not run. He did not try to force a solution. He sat in the silence and he remembered the character of God. He realized that the waiting was not a waste. He saw that the quietness was the very place where God's goodness was being prepared. And he wrote a truth that stands as a pillar for every chosen one walking through the silent season. In Lamentations chapter 3, verses 25 and 26, the prophet captured the spiritual law of the wait. He wrote, "The Lord is good to those who wait for Him, to the soul who seeks Him. It is good that one should hope and wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord, chosen one." Look at those words. Wait quietly. Not wait anxiously, not wait angrily. Wait quietly. The Hebrew word for quietly means to be still, to hold your peace, to rest. It means to stop trying to defend yourself. It means to stop trying to explain your connection to people who cannot understand it. It means to rest in the sovereignty of the one who promised. Jeremiah's application is simple, yet it requires absolute surrender. The Lord is good to those who wait. The goodness is not waiting for you at the end of the journey. The goodness is active times in times the waiting. God is being good to you right now by keeping you in the cocoon. He is being good to the person on your heart by keeping them in their own process. If He released the connection now, it would not be good. It would be premature. So the silence is the evidence of His goodness. It is the wall He has built around you to keep you from running back into the hands of those who would misuse you. It is the peace that guards your heart, while the Master prepares the feast. Think of the seed in winter. When the snow covers the ground, the garden looks dead. There are no leaves. There are no flowers. There is only cold, hard earth. If you walk through the garden, you would think that nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, in the dark, frozen soil, the seed is active. Its shell is cracked. Its roots are pushing downward into the deep dirt, searching for water, for nutrients, for stability. The roots must grow first, before the stem can break through the soil. If the seed produced a stem before it had roots, the winter wind would blow it away. The silence of winter is the time of root growth. Chosen one, your roots are growing. And while your roots are growing, there are silent signs that the transformation is working. You have been looking for external signs. You have been looking for phone calls, for coincidences, for open doors. But the real signs are internal. Here is the first sign. Your desires are fading. The things that used to excite you, the relationships that used to satisfy you, the ambitions that used to drive you, have lost their grip on your heart. You look at them and they feel small. They feel like toys you have outgrown. You no longer want the validation of the crowd. You no longer want to prove yourself to those who rejected you. You just want peace. You just want Him. This fading of desire is the sign that the caterpillar is dissolving. The old appetite is gone. The second sign is a sharpened perception. You see things differently now. You look at conversations and you see the hidden motives. You look at relationships and you see the spiritual weights. You can no longer participate in gossip. You can no longer pretend to enjoy things that are hollow. Your spirit has become sensitive. You feel a sudden discomfort when you enter environments that are not aligned with your destiny. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is the development of your new spiritual senses. You are learning to discern between the clean and the unclean, between what is from God and what is from the flesh. You are seeing with the eyes of the Spirit. The third sign is that you have outgrown your circle. This is the most painful sign. You look around at the people you have known for years, and you realize that the fit is gone. The conversations feel heavy. The jokes feel dry. The shared history is no longer enough to bridge the gap in your current spirits. You feel like an outsider. In the rooms where you used to belong, they look at you and they say, "You have changed." They say, "You are distant." They are right. You have changed. You are being rebuilt, and the box they want to keep you in is too small for the wings that are forming. Do not apologize for your growth. Do not try to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Chosen one, if you see these signs in your life today, if you recognize that the silence is not empty, but pregnant with destiny, I want you to seal this truth in your heart. I want you to declare your trust in the invisible work. Type in the comments right now, "I trust the process." Let these words be your anchor in the quiet. Let them be your answer to the whispers of the enemy. Type, "I trust the process," and let the quietness of the Lord keep your heart in perfect peace. The cocoon is almost finished, and next, we will stand at the sovereign threshold, where the old must die, for the new to live. We have arrived at the sovereign threshold. This is the place where the road narrows, and the old way of walking ends. You are standing at the boundary between the season of dissolution and the season of resurrection, and the pressure is at its peak. You feel the weight of the transition pressing against your spirit. You look forward, and you see nothing but the unknown. You look backward, and you realize that the bridge has been burned. You cannot go back to who you were, and you do not know how to be who you are becoming. This is the climax of the wait. This is the moment where the caterpillar is completely dissolved and the butterfly has not yet emerged. It is the threshold of faith, and you feel completely unprepared. You ask God why He is bringing you to a place that feels so far beyond your strength. You say, "Lord, I am not ready for this. I do not have the wisdom. I do not have the courage. I am not ready." But you must understand that your unreadiness is the qualification. If you felt ready, you would rely on your own strength. If you felt prepared, you would try to manage the new season with your old tools. But the glory of what God is preparing for you is too large for the old version of your soul. He had to bring you to the end of yourself so that He could become your beginning. Your weakness is the empty space that His power will fill. So do not fear your unreadiness. Embrace it. It is the sign that the work is too big for you and just right for Him. There was a series of letters written at the very end of C.S. Lewis's life, letters to a lifelong friend, Malcolm. In these letters, Lewis was reflecting on the mystery of resurrection. He was a man who was preparing to face his own death. He had lost his wife, his health was failing, the academic honours had faded, and he was left with the simple, stark reality of his faith. He did not look at death as a tragedy. He did not look at the loss as a failure of God's plan. He saw it as the necessary law of the spiritual kingdom. He understood that nothing can be made new until it is first allowed to die. And he wrote a single sentence that encapsulates the entire mystery of the waiting season. Lewis saw that we are constantly trying to save things that God is trying to bury. We try to keep old relationships alive. We try to hold on to old identities. We try to preserve our comfort. We want the new life without the death. We want the resurrection morning without the Friday tomb. But Lewis warned that this is spiritually impossible. God will not resurrect what has not been fully surrendered to the grave. If we keep holding on to the corpse, we will never receive the living body. Listen to the absolute authority of his words. Let them cut through your compromise today. Lewis wrote, "Nothing that has not died will be resurrected." Chosen one, let those words sink into the deepest ground of your heart. Nothing that has not died will be resurrected. This is the law of the kingdom. The connection you feel, the person on your heart, the promise you carry. It had to go through a death. You had to experience the separation. You had to experience the silence. You had to let the relationship go into the tomb of God's sovereignty. If you try to keep it alive by your own effort, by texting, by checking their social media, by trying to force encounters, you are keeping a corpse in your house. You are preventing the resurrection. The connection must die to your control before it can be resurrected in His purity. Let it go to the grave. Trust the one who is the resurrection and the life. When you surrender the old, God does not just rebuild what was lost. He builds something completely different. Lewis used a magnificent metaphor in his book Mere Christianity to describe how God rebuilds our lives. He wrote, "Imagine yourself as a living house. God comes in to rebuild that house. At first, perhaps you can understand what He is doing. He is getting the drains right and stopping the leaks, and so on. You knew that those jobs needed doing, and so you are not surprised. But presently, He starts knocking the house about in a way that hurts abominably and does not seem to make sense. What on earth is He up to? The explanation is that He is building quite a different house from the one you thought of. He is throwing out a new wing here, running up a new floor there, making towers, running up courtyards. You thought you were going to be made into a decent little cottage, but He is building a palace. He intends to come and live in it Himself. Chosen one, God is not building a cottage on your heart. He is building a palace. And that is why the demolition hurts so much. The demolition of your old season is the preparation for the palace. Do you not see it? The prophet Isaiah wrote in chapter 43, verse 19, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? It is springing up in the middle of the desert. It is growing in the silent spaces of your life." God is doing a new thing in your character. He is doing a new thing in your strength. He is doing a new thing in the connection itself. The old cottage is gone. The dust is settling, and the towers of the palace are beginning to rise. Do not look back at the ruins of the cottage. Look up at the heights of the palace. He is building a place where His presence can dwell. You have been waiting for a miracle. You have been praying, "Lord, perform a miracle in my life. Bring the breakthrough. Fix the connection." But I tell you today, you have been looking in the wrong direction. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. The shift that has happened inside you, the quiet strength you have found in the silence, the capacity to love without demand, the peace that stays despite the absence. That is the miracle. God did not just perform a work times for times you. He performed a work times in times you. You have been transformed. You are no longer the caterpillar. You are the butterfly, drying its wings, preparing to fly. The miracle is already complete in the design of your soul. And the proof of the miracle is the unexpected peace that has settled over you. It is a peace that makes no sense. Your circumstances have not changed. The separation is still there. The silence is still long. And yet, you are not afraid. You are not anxious. You feel a quiet, steady assurance that all is well. This peace is the signal that the transition is complete. The old has died. The new has emerged. And you are standing at the threshold, ready to walk into the land of your inheritance. The palace is ready, and the architect is inviting you inside. Let us enter the quiet court. Take a deep breath. Let the noise of the world fade away. Let the questions that have tormented your mind be still. You have run, you have fought, you have struggled to hold on to what you could not see. But now it is time to rest. Step into the inner court of the Lord. He is not demanding that you explain yourself. He is not asking you to figure out the future. He is simply inviting you to be still and know that He is God. Pray this with me today. Let these words rise from the depths of your spirit as a sweet fragrance of surrender. Say these words out loud or in the quiet sanctuary of your mind. Father, I come to you today with a heart that has been tired. I have carried the weight of this person and this connection for longer than I want to admit. I have tried to analyze your silence. I have tried to force the doors open. I have tried to manage the timeline with my own hands. But today, I lay it down. I lay down the questions. I lay down the need to know. I lay down the timeline. And I lay this person, whom you have placed so deeply on my heart, into your sovereign hands. I trust you with them. I trust you with myself. I trust you with our future. Continue to pray. Father, forgive me for calling your pruning a loss. Forgive me for resisting the pressure of the wheel. I see now that the cocoon was not my prison. It was my protection. I accept the dissolving. I accept the restructuring of my soul. Break the old dependencies that kept me bound to the opinion of others and the need for human validation. Center my heart on you alone. Make me unbreakable in my faith, but soft in my love. I surrender the cottage, and I welcome the palace you are building. Intrude upon my life, interrupt my plans, and make me a vessel worthy of your presence. Seal the prayer with these words of victory. I receive your peace, not the peace that comes when the circumstances are easy, but the peace that passes all understanding. The peace that stands guard over my heart while the battle is fought in the invisible realm. I receive the strength to wait quietly. I believe that the promise is safe in your hands. I believe that what you have joined in the Spirit cannot be separated by the distance of the earth. I walk forward, not in my own confidence, but in the security of my portion. I am your chosen one, and my destiny is secure. Amen. Chosen one, let that peace settle over you. There is a final assurance written in the letter to the Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6. A promise that should anchor your soul whenever the doubts try to return. The Apostle Paul wrote, being confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. He who began it. God did not place this connection on your heart to abandon you in the wilderness. He did not start the work of transformation to leave you half dissolved in the cocoon. He is faithful. He will perform it. He will complete it. The good work is on schedule. C.S. Lewis captured the essence of this steady faith in his masterpiece, Mere Christianity. He understood that our emotions are unstable. One day, we feel strong. The next day, we feel weak. One day, we believe the promise. The next day, we feel like it was all an illusion. But Lewis showed that true faith is not a feeling. It is a decision of the will to hold on to what you know is true. Despite the shifting of your moods, he wrote, faith is the art of holding on to things your reason has once accepted in spite of your changing moods. Chosen one, your mood will change. Your emotions will tell you that the wait is too long. But faith is holding on to the truth that God is on the throne and His promise is sure. This transition is holy ground. Do not rush across it. Do not try to skip the remaining quiet days. Every day in the cocoon is adding strength to your wings. Every hour of silence is deepening your roots. The caterpillar does not look at the cocoon as a waste of time. It is the only place where the miracle can happen. So value the in-between, honor the silence. It is the laboratory of the Holy Spirit. And the version of you that emerges from this place will look back at the wait and thank God for every single day of delay. The delay was the design. Walk forward without apology. You are entering a season where the old circles will not understand you. They will expect the old caterpillar. They will try to treat you like the person you used to be. But you must walk with the quiet dignity of a transformed soul. You do not need to defend your growth. You do not need to explain your path. Simply walk. Let the light of the palace shine through your eyes. Let the peace of the Lord be your defense. You have been bought with a price. You have been shaped by the hand of the King, and you belong to the future He has prepared. Rest in the hands of the one who loves the clay. He has never misshaped a vessel. He has never lost a soul that yielded to His touch. The memory of this person on your heart is safe with Him. Your destiny is safe with Him. Your peace is safe with Him. The wait is ending. The signs will resolve. But the relationship you have built with the Father in the dark will last forever. Go in peace and walk in hope, chosen one. If you have walked with me to the end of this message, if you are ready to stand in the peace of the Lord, I invite you to take the final step. Subscribe to this channel to stay connected with our community of chosen ones, and type in the comments below, Amen. Let that single word seal this entire journey. Let it be your agreement with the prayer, the promise, and the palace. Type Amen and walk into your new day.